technology and how Edison made great contributions to improve it has always interested me, and I have recently completed the research on his life to learn more about him. I will provide you with information about his early childhood, education, early inventions, contributions, and his later years to his death. According to Thomas Edison, in the noteworthy Journal of Ecology, Thomas Edison was born in Milan, Ohio on February 11, 1847. He was the seventh and last child of Samuel Ogden Edison Jr. and Nancy Matthews, and he was one of the four children who survived until adulthood. His father, Samuel Jr., was the son of a loyalist refugee who had fought in the War of 1812 as a captain. He eventually settled down in Ontario until he was forced to flee to the town of Milan, Ohio, the birthplace of Thomas Edison. Attending school was often difficult for him. He spent many days absent from constant sickness, and he would often say that he had hearing problems due to being hit on the ears by a train conductor, but it was due to the fact that he had developed scarlet fever and ear infections. He was turned away from his teacher due to the perception of confusion and constant absences. Only receiving 3 months of official school, he was forced to be taught at home by his mother. His family then moved to Port Huron, Michigan. There, he started selling candy and newspapers on trains. He was interested in quantitative analysis and started doing chemical experiments on the train. It was at this time that Edison would start his career. From the works of his heroic actions of saving 3-year-old Jimmy Mackenzie from a runaway train, Edison received training as a telegraph operator from the boy's father. At the age of 19, Edison moved to Kentucky to work for the Western Union. He would use this time to read and experiment until disaster struck and sulfuric acid from a lead acid battery that he was working on would spill between the floorboards and onto his boss's desk, which led him to being fired. Even though he had some unsuccessful experiments, he would use these as a learning curve in lessons for his earliest inventions, which was inspired by telegraphy, his first patent being for the electric boat recorder. According to Thomas Edison in history, Edison learned that the development of auditory signals for the telegraph would soon leave him at a disadvantage with his hearing problem. So he responded by focusing on inventing devices that would help make things possible for him. He would then quit telegraphy and focus on inventing for the rest of his life. In New York, New Jersey, Edison developed telegraph-related products for both Western Union Telegraph Company and its competitors. Although his work on telegraphs were very well known, he faced financial difficulties by 1875. But with the help of his father and his funds from other inventions, he was able to build the first ever industrial laboratory in the world, right in the city of Menlo Park, New Jersey. He would later make more inventions that had made way for modern technology, such as the incandescent light bulb. Although the light bulb had already been made, he wanted to make an improved and safer model without using gas as a source. It was not until the summer of 1880 that the first ever long-lasting inflatable light bulb was made. According to Thomas Edison in the noteworthy Journal of Ecology, his invention of the phonograph made Edison a celebrity. He would travel to Washington, D.C. to present his invention in front of the National Academy of Sciences, congressmen, senators, and even the U.S. President Hayes. He was described in the Washington Post as a genius, in that his presentation was a scene that would live in history. Edison is also credited to developing an alkaline storage battery, which will be used for submarines and electric cars. Even Henry Ford himself asked Edison to develop a battery for the iconic Model T. He was married 2 times, he had 6 kids, and his son, Charles, who was governor of New Jersey, would take over his father's company after his death in 1931. He is also noted for his development and improvements on the fluoroscope, which his publications was often used by other future researchers to make improvements as well. According to Thomas Edison in history, he made many more inventions in his later years up to his 80s, but it was until 1931 at the Grandmountain Estate he had passed away, leaving behind a great legacy. Thomas Edison's struggle in early childhood and education inspired him to invent and pursue advances in technology. His inventions outlived his passing, and his contributions paved the way for modern technology, earning him the title of being one of the greatest inventors who ever lived.